As you can see, thousands of people out already waiting at the door for those doors to actually open and them for to be unleashed upon Spiel. So I think I better get out of the way before they actually run me over. Welcome to GMS Magazine at Spiel 2015. Terry Pratchet left an incredible legacy that has gone not just into books, of course, and movies and televisions and whatever, and games. Now, these people, Backspindle Game, they know they are Terry Pratchett, they know their games, and they have combined them both now for the second time. The first time was with Guards, a very successful, very good game. And now Clacks, based on the book Going Postal. Tell me a little bit about the game and the inspiration from the game.
Whoa. Well, the inspiration was we were at an Irish Discroll convention and it had just finished, and we were talking about the various Sky adaptations of Terry Pratchett works, and I said my favourite was Going Postal. And Leonard, my partner, went, there's bound to be a good game in there somewhere. And hence, he went home and started thinking of a Clacks alphabet. And he came back to me with this idea about a Clacks alphabet, and we'll have a 6-letter alphabet, 2 by 3 high. And we played about with it, and we sort of liked it. So over the next couple of years, really, we tried it at different Discworld events, and everybody really liked it. But it was very simple, and it wasn't a full game. But nonetheless, it was there, it was an idea. We had other ideas to do in the meantime, like Kudinka and Luchador, so Clacks got put back. But after a while, people kept saying, when's Clacks coming out? We really like Clacks. When is Clacks? So last year, at the end of last year, we started working on Clacks, and this year we published Clacks.
And I have to say, the production of the game is looking very good, because you have a board within a board, in that you have all the Clacks system, and then you have some sort of racing track going around. Tell me a little bit, how does the game work? What are the mechanics of the game?
Okay, well, the mechanics basically are that you're trying to transmit letters on a card. So for instance, this letter G vertically has 3 white letters, 3 white circles at the top, and 3 black around the bottom, whereas the O has, 4 at the top and 2 at the bottom. But to do that, you must turn lights on the board on and off. And the Clacks system works on a punch card system. So basically we have these things called jack cards. So if you can imagine a jack card's actually punched through a hole, you slot your jack card in, you pull the lever, and those 3 lights turn. They turn either from on to off or off to on. So you've got to very cleverly use these in whichever shape you can to change the lights on the board to transmit a letter. Someone said to me, well, if I have a letter already on the board and I just say there's my letter, you can't, because you're in a Clacks tower and you've got these lights sitting, your 6 lights, and they haven't moved. If you flash one on and flash it back off again, the guy in the other Clacks car, who hasn't been drinking too much whiskey, goes, it's an O, and you've got your letter. But once you start doing flash off, flash on, it can start to get expensive. So that's part of the game as well. Little stress points on the bottom can be expensive, especially in the cooperative game. Also in the individual game as well, because you only have 5 points to spend as the Clacks tower heats up. That's the basic mechanic of it.
What about the racing track around the whole thing? What's that all about?
Well, basically when we were designing the game, we had player versus player working really well. And everybody went, can we have some sort of one, us against them or them against us? And we tried, and we tried, and we further tried, and we could not get it balanced. And you know how important game balance is. If you don't have game balance, you have people going, I'm going to make a cup of tea, I'm out of here. So we couldn't really get it balanced, and we thought maybe if we did it against something, like a cooperative game, we could do something there. And we thought, what about we have the whole recreation of the race in the book, the race against the Postal Service, against the Clacks towers flashing a message. So we have on the board a little moist that moves along, moist von Lipwig, depending how many stress points you spend. And as you get each letter, you light up a Clacks tower and you cover up your letter. So if Moist gets Dampmore Pork first before you light up all your Clacks towers, he wins. If Moist gets to here and you light up your last Clacks tower, the cooperative guys win. So that's the basic of it. And then there's all the different levels of it. We have everyday cards here. If you can't make your letter, you can dip out, take a chance on these two cards, which might give you something else. But then you have to read out the event card, if you like, which creates something or tells something. The green ones tend to be good. The postal cards tend to be bad. But of course, the jack cards here are very, very helpful. So they can nearly always guarantee you a letter. You know you're going to cost 3 points, but you'll probably get your letter. So you have that. You can also play another level where you, if you draw this with a stress symbol on it, you can draw a stress card which plays on the game, which says draw no jack cards this turn. So that means instead of 2 jack cards for the next player in the cooperative, he only has 1. That kind of makes it difficult. And there's an easy track and there's a hard track. So there's like about 4 levels of difficulty on each side. So if you're really, really good, you might play the difficult track with no communication with these and the interrupt cards. And then if you win, you're really good.
You told me earlier, before the interview started, that there are 3 different game styles. What are those game types?
Well, the first game is just the center piece of the board, which is player versus player. And you can block each other. So if I'm playing in red meeple, and I'm playing in these 6, and these 6, and these 6, and these, and this guy's playing the blue meeple, I can't move to his tower to make my letter. I have to move to one of these, and every time you move towers, it costs you 1 point out of your 5. So that's player versus player. Plus, in the player versus player, you can play the interrupt cards on your opponents. They become like attack cards. The second version is the cooperative game. And the third version, if I clear these away, is very simple. You have 2 meeples here, and it's a children's introductory game. And basically each child or player who's not very confident can have 2 words. Each time they make a letter, they move to a Clacks tower. One goes one way, one goes the other way. They don't have to worry about the points, but when they get to the 3rd tower on each side, they draw an interrupt card which they can play on the other child. And the first child to get to the end wins. So simple but effective.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a very good reduction of the rules without compromising on the gameplay, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, the children can do anything, anywhere on the board, whatever way they want, as long as it faces them. So I do everything from my direction. So an O from my direction looks like this. This is an O. But from his direction, that's the O there. 2 black at the bottom, 4 white at the top. This guy is an O this way, he's got an O that way. But of course, that could be difficult if this is the card you have to play. Because you got to go these. Now how do I get my O? It's difficult. I've got this. Okay, I can play this, I could do this. But that mucks me up, so I will go this, this, and this. And I've got my O again. That's if I'm over there. So you got to be adaptable with your punch cards. You got to be able to adjust to what the person before you does. Unfortunately, sometimes you can't adjust to this because some of the attack cards say play only 1 jack card on your turn. So if I say, well, I will do this, and then they go play no jack cards, you're like, I hate you.
As per usual with any, or with a Terry Pratchet games that you guys have designed in the past, there is a lot of messing up with the opponent.
Yeah. And the cards here in the cooperative game, they mess up the cooperative. They have like banshees, they have towers falling down, all sorts of stuff happens, and you're like, it's a crazy Discworld again. I'm a Clacks operator, my life's hard enough. Well, you're gonna have to tough it out, man.
How family friendly is it? Or is it the mean kind of games that you need a cool down time of 10 minutes after you've played to actually continue to be friends with your friends?
It's not too bad, but we have something that's included in the game, which I'll just show you now. If your friend is a little bit slow and they take forever to make their moves, you can go. Speed Clacks. It is about being fast. You can't compete to be the best Clacks operator unless you're fast. So if you have someone who goes, oh, whatever, I'll go my phone for 10 minutes. When it gets to the bottom, you can go ding, 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 ding. Next.
The game obviously is now out at Essen. I presume it's going to be out in distribution after the show?
Yeah, it'll be out in distribution after the 16th of October. 19th of October, sorry. Goes to a stadium for shipping to wider people after the 19th. It's just our pre-order customers. We start shipping out to them on the 16th, so they have to get first.
Well, that's going to be out there, sirs and ladies. So, if you're into Terry Pratchet, you have to have this. That's it. I know that's kind of non-negotiable, is it? You have to have it.
It's a good game. I really like the cooperative game. I like the fact we're going, come on, get it, you can do it. It's really good. The player versus player game at times, I do like it, but then when I'm being nasty to one person, two people tend to be nasty to me, so...
Live by the sword, die by the Clacks. That's how it goes. Dave, thank you very much indeed. As always, a pleasure to see you. Really great to see how Clacks turned out to be. And I hope it is as much of a success as it looks like it to be.